Okay guys, so in the previous video we've already demonstrated that Elementor hosting is super fast. We even tested it with a very resource-hungry website and it still got a perfect 100 Google PageSpeed score. So if you're looking to build a website the easy way, meaning you don't need to set up your own server, you don't have to install WordPress either, and all of this for just $9.99 per month. Now, did you notice? Elementor Pro is also included. That's another €99 that you save right there. So if that sounds good to you, then click on the link in the description below where it says try Elementor hosting now. Okay, so let's build your website now. Very good, so let's get started. And then you can select any of those pre-made templates if you wanted to, but we're going to start from scratch, okay? So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So right here on top, skip and start with a blank website. And now we can subscribe to our plan. As you can see, it's $9.99 per month. So buy now. And then fill out your details and proceed to checkout. Good. And once you've gone through the checkout process, you'll see this page here. So thank you for your purchase, David. And now we can start creating our website. So simply click on this button here. And then we need to give our website a name. So as you can see, don't worry too much. You can always change it later. Okay. So I'm just going to put Learn with Mr. Web. Okay. And then next. And right here, you can see, choose a website kit to start with. So basically from here, you need to select your industry or your field of expertise. So as you can see, we have personal stylist, a private tour guide, alternative medicine, digital marketing, business consulting, and so on. So feel free to select any of those, obviously based on your type of industry that you're in or your field of expertise, like I said, Now, if you don't find exactly your match, now you can always go for something else, So let's say you run a podcast or something like this. You could still start with this one here called Digital Marketing Agency 2. It's very easy for us to change the content, the images and everything, So this wouldn't be an issue at all. All these templates obviously are very adaptable and customizable, So let's say we're going to start with this one as an example. Like I said, start with this kit. And as you can see, this has started now. So this can take up to 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is to pause the video and I'll meet you again once it's completed. Okay, so that took a lot less time than expected. This took maybe 20-25 seconds altogether. So now we can click on this button, start editing your homepage. Very good, so welcome to your Elementor page. So this is our homepage, of course. And right here by the side of all the different elements that we can use. In the middle, this is our actual page. As you can see, this is the preview and all the content that can be changed and customized. And right here, we have what is called structure. So this is this button here. So if you click on it, you can enable it or disable it. This used to be called the navigator and now it's called structure, which actually makes more sense. So basically, you have all the different sections here. The first one is the hero section and then creating a unique campaign, what we do. So if you click on this, it will bring you automatically to that section and then you can customize it very easy. So again, this is a very common structure for a website. You have the hero section, what we do, your services, maybe your team, testimonials, and then the call to action. So this can be reused very easy for any type of website altogether. And then right from here, from the structure, you can also move things around. So let's say if I wanted Meet the Faces to be after testimonials or the other way around, you can easily move them, okay? But you can also delete them straight up from here. So if you right click on this and then you can delete that as well if you wanted to. So if you want to remove a section, no problem. Now, let's say you made a mistake, you deleted it by mistake, you want it back, no problem at all. We have the revert back feature as well, which is right here under our Elementor logo. As you can see, when you hover on top, it changes into a hamburger menu. Click on it and we have the history. So click on that. And there you have it. As you can see, container removed. Now we can go back one step backwards and click on this one instead. Editing started. And as you can see now, Meet the Faces is back. So this is basically how you can turn things around, okay? So let's go back to our hero section for a minute. Now, if you hover on top of the preview of your website, as you can see, this one here, if you click on that, this is a container. If you click on this one here, this is a heading, okay? Scroll down, we have this one here. What's this one? This is a button. And here we have an image, obviously, if I click on this one now, it should be an image. There you go. And each element has its own set of options by the side. As you can see, for the image, we have the content, style, and advanced. Now, if you go to this one here, this is a heading. As you can see, the styling feature and the content is different as well. So this is basically customizable for each and every type of element that you add to your page. Now, let's start with the first step, which is our branding. As you can see, the colors here are mainly blue. But let's say you run a podcast or something like this, but your colors are orange. So how can you apply your own branding to your web page here? Well, it's very easy. Right here on top, we have the header. So it all starts with your logo, obviously, okay? So I'm going to edit the header first. I'll click on this green section here, header, and then save changes for now. Very good. So now, as you can see, if you hover on the page itself, you cannot change anything. You cannot edit the page anymore because we are working on the header itself. And as you can see, that's the only structure visible now. Okay, so let's upload our logo. So right here, if you hover on top, this is our logo. So click on the small pencil, and right there, we're going to change the site logo. Okay, so click on this button. We can upload our image. And then let's upload our logo. So select file. And right here, as you can see, we have two different ones. So let's say your main color is orange like this, okay? And then we have the same here, just in black and white. So upload both of them. And ideally, your black and white one should basically be a PNG file. So basically, the background should be completely clear, okay? So let's select this one as an example. So select, and there you go. As you can see, now our logo is displaying, but it's clearly too small, you know? So for this, we can change the size very easily. We go to style. So in this case, we should use the height. So let's try to increase that a little bit. So it should be visible, you know, not too big, not too small. So maybe just around there. Okay, so that's a happy medium. So this is our logo added. Very good. So let's go back to editing our page. So edit page and then save changes. Very good. So now let's add our main color because at the moment it's blue, but we said that our branding is more towards orange. Okay, so for this, we go to settings right here on top, site settings. We go to global colors. And right here, as you can see, these are the colors being used throughout the whole website. So we have pale blue background 1 and pale blue background 2. So these are the two colors we need to change mainly, okay? Because everything else, obviously, this is the text. So this should be absolutely fine. So we're going to change the pale blue background 1 to orange. So I already have the hex codes. So I'm going to put it here. So this is orange. And then basically leave it as is. And then we can add the other one. So it could be the same color, but slightly brighter, okay? Or maybe around here, okay? So we can keep it like this, very good. And then after this, save changes. And now let's go back to our home page. So I'll click on the X here. And there you go, guys. You can see this gives us a totally different feel. And now the colors are in line with our branding. So that looks very professional already, doesn't it? So let's customize the content now. So basically to change your main heading here, all you have to do is click on this and we can change the content right there. So instead of your digital presence is about to skyrocket, put something related to your industry. So like we said here, let's pretend that we run a podcast. And again, this has to be crystal clear. You know, this is the first thing a visitor will see. So they have no doubt whatsoever what it is that you do. So let's go ahead maybe with something like this. Okay, I'm going to type here the crypto podcast, blockchain, NFTs, and digital currency. So let's say this is the main subjects and topics that you cover on your podcast. So this is basically very clear as could be. You know, anyone landing here will know exactly what your podcast is about. Now, clearly, this is too big now, as you can see, you know. So now we can go to style and we can go to typography. So typography, it's everything related to the font and how your font is displayed. So click on the pencil here. So first right here, we have the font family. So we can keep it as is. And this is the size here. As you can see, you can use the slider here and make it maybe a little bit smaller. So maybe around there, you know. So clearly the spacing in between is maybe too big. So we have the line height spacing. So we might want to reduce that a little bit, okay? And then we can increase the size of the font itself. So maybe around 85. So let's try a thicker font maybe. So here with the weight, so maybe we try 600 and maybe 800. So this is too thick. So maybe 600 would be just about perfect. Now you can also change the style. Maybe you want it in italic, you know, that's again really up to you. So that's basically it. So this is how we can change our font, and this is our main header taken care of. And then right there underneath we have the about us section. So this is basically a bit of text about yourself, you know. So right here, use this section to basically back this up with some claims, you know. What is it that you do? Maybe you upload daily or something like this, you know, something important that your visitors need to know. So right here, the About Us button. So if you click on this, it should bring you to an internal page. So we have different pages. Obviously, you have Home, About, Services, News Flash, and Contact. And I'm going to show you how you can customize the other pages as well. But basically, you want to link this perhaps directly to your About Us page. And as you can see by the side, this is done already. So this is the link. If you click on that, as you can see, this is bringing us to the content page, and which one exactly the About Us page. So if you type this, as you can see, this is basically all the pages available, and select your About Us. And that's basically it. So if they click on this button, they'll go straight to your About Us page. Okay. And finally, with our main image here. So let's click on that and let's replace this. For this, click on it and then upload file, select file. So I found a few online here. We can try them, you know. You might have to try different options. So clearly, as you can see, the shape of our image should be longer than wider. As you can see, the same here, so it will fit perfectly. I'm going to select this one for now, see what it looks like. And well, you know what? I think that looks very nice. I think we might go with this one because the wall here matches our main color. So we might keep this, okay? So we go ahead with this one. Now, as you may have noticed, the corner here is rounded, which is very nice actually. How do you do that? I'm going to show you how this works. If you go to Style and scroll down the page of the border radius. So there's only one border radius applied here at 110 pixels of radius, and that's basically it. Okay, that's how it shows. Now if I put 0 here, as you can see, this is square now. So this is again up to you, what sort of feel you want to give, or maybe you want that corner as well to be rounded, and this one as well. You could have two, so it's 110 here, 110, and then with the bottom as well, so 110. Okay, now if you scroll down, as you can see, those two are rounded. Okay, so this is really up to you. You can play around with this, and you can do something very design and trendy as well. Very good. So that's us done with the hero section. So from time to time, don't forget to save your work, so save draft. Okay, so let's scroll down now. Let's go to our next section. So as you can see of the image, heading and all that. So now you know how to change this anyways. It's very easy to do. So as you can see here, let's change the image. This is our main thing. So if you click on it, as you can see, it's not bringing up the widget. So why is that? Well, basically, this is a background image part of this column here. So if you click on the gray square here, container, as you can see, if you go to Style, this is our background image right there, okay? So let's change this with our own. So click on it, upload file, select file. So I found one online here that's suitable. And maybe we take this half only, okay? So open and then select. Very good. So now we need to center this a bit better. As you can see, this is not centered properly. We bang on in the middle. We don't see either of those two persons here, okay? So it's very easy. As you can see, I have position here. So here, go to custom. And as you can see, I have the X position and the Y position. So the X position is the one we're interested in, I suppose, as you can see, okay? And then find the happy medium. So I would say maybe right here like this. And this is just about perfect, isn't it? And now again, you can change this very easy. All you have to do is click on this and click on that. And that's basically it. Now, if you don't want this button here that says learn more, you can right click on it and then delete. And that's basically it, okay? So let's move on to the next section again. So here we have a section that says what we do. So you can use this depending on the type of business or industry that you cover. Obviously, you might use this to have the different department, maybe, or type of services that you provide, So let's say if you're a web designer, not a podcaster, but a web designer, maybe you have a WordPress website design, Elementor website design, maybe hosting, and also domain name registration or something like this, and you can include them here. So what I would like to do basically instead of this is to actually have our own podcast, so we can use this very easily. And here we could display our latest podcast, and then our visitors can click on this and listen to them, okay? So how can you do so? Well, it's very easy, okay? So right here on top, as you can see, you have your temporary URL. So fetch this, except everything that's after the trailing slash. So basically your URL .elementor.cloud/WP admin. Okay, so Control-C, open a new tab and paste it here. And this will bring you to your WordPress dashboard. And right from here, as you can see, you have the post section. And we can use this section to actually upload our podcast, okay? So this could also be your blog post or anything like that, something related to that anyways, depending what you do again, you can make use of this. So right here we have article title. So I'm just going to do an edit here. So this is basically the title. So I'm going to put podcast number 1 perhaps. And then right here you can have all the content, maybe an image, and then you can upload your audio file, they could listen to. You could insert it maybe here in between or something like that. And then you save it, and that's basically it. So this would be maybe podcast number 1. And then I'm going to change this very quickly, to podcast 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. So now we're podcast 1 to 9, and now we can use that and display them on our homepage. Okay, so we go back here. So let's change our title here. Instead of what we do, we could have maybe our latest podcast. Very good. And now we're going to delete this section altogether. So click on the X sign, just like this. Okay, very good. So that's gone now. And now the section underneath, click on the plus sign. And we're going to add our own container, okay? So this one should be the one going from the left to right. Excellent. And now click on this, and we're going to add a bit of spacing on top and bottom, okay? So we go to advanced, and here this is margin. So unlink those values, and I'm going to add a little bit on top. Let's try maybe 100, yeah, and 100 at the bottom. There you go. Very good. So this is a bit of breathing space. It's much better like this. Actually, you know what? I think we're going to add a bit more at the bottom, maybe 180. There you go. And now we can add our latest post right here. So we go to the plus sign and type post here. And we have a few different options, as you can see: post title, post excerpt, archive post, loop grid, and so on. So the one that we're interested in is this one here that says post. So I'll drag and drop. And right there, you can see our podcasts are displaying now: podcast number 4, 3, 2, and so on. And then goes up to 9. Okay, so we have 6 of them being displayed here. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so as you can see, you have the amount of columns you can display and how many per page. So maybe you want to display 4 columns and perhaps 8 in total. There you go. As you can see, different feel again. So I think we might leave it at 3 and then 6 in total. I think that was absolutely fine. So clearly there's too much information. This is a bit too busy now, isn't it? All we need is basically the title of the podcast and maybe the date. And we don't maybe need the description or the other way around. We could remove the date and keep the description, okay? So it's very easy to do so. As you can see by the side, you have the title. You want to show it or not. So again, that's really up to you. Feel free to play around with this. I think the title is necessary. The excerpt, do you want it or not? I think we don't need the excerpt, especially not for a podcast. And then here, I think we might keep the date, but not the comments. Okay, so we can untick this one, remove it altogether. There you go. So we have just this, and then maybe the date is slightly too big, So again, we go back to the top, we go to style, and as you can see, you have all the different sections here with the content as well. So this is the content that we're interested in. So you have the title and then meta. So we might change the size here. So we go to typography, and then we're going to change the size altogether. So let's create something a little bit smaller. Maybe, I don't know, 25, 27. Let's go with 25, okay? And I think we might just keep it the way it is now, okay? So let's move on to the next section. So here are meet the people behind our success. So basically here you'll be changing those pictures with your own. So again, you know exactly how to do that now. If you scroll down the page, we have what our clients have to say. So this is our testimonial section. So this could be used to build trust and authority, obviously, So all you have to do to edit this, as usual, is to click on this and basically type the comment or the testimonial that you received from your client. Change the name here. And here is basically the company name or a logo as well, okay? So that's very easy to use. So in our case here for a podcast, this could be maybe the name of some guest that we had on our podcast, and change this around. So either way is the same, So let's scroll down now. Let's move on to the next section. And this is again another section to build trust and authority. So these are people that you work with. So if you have big names that you work with, or maybe local people that are known in your industry or something like this, add their logos here, and people will recognize that, and that's going to again build trust and authority. So they believe in us, or maybe we've worked with them or something like this. So feel free to change the text here based on your type of business model, obviously, So let's scroll down, and right here we have a call to action section now. And again, this is the second most important section on your website. So let's go back here to the structure. So the first one is the hero section, because that's the first thing that they'll see. And the call to action at the bottom is very important, because very often your visitors will just skim through the content. They'll go from top to bottom, and that's all they want to know. So here, what do you want your visitors to do? Do you want them to give you a call? Do you want them to register online? Do you want them to fill out a contact form? Do you want them to ring you? Do you want them to listen to your podcast? Whatever it is, mention it here and make it as clear as possible, okay? So right here, as you can see, this is our main button. And again, depending on what you want them to do, if you want them to fill out a form, send them to that page. If you want them to contact you, send them to the contact page, and so on and so on, okay? So in our case here, we want them to listen to our podcast, okay? So where do you fetch the URL? Again, we go back to our WordPress dashboard. As you can see, all our podcasts are part of the news flash, as it's called, the category, okay? So if you go to categories now, news flash, and if you want to view, right click and open in a new tab. And this is basically all our podcasts, okay? They're all here. So what we can do is basically fetch that URL, Control-C, and then we're going to paste it here instead of this one. We're going to remove this one, actually. And instead of the hashtag, paste it here, okay? And then we have to change contact us. In our case, obviously, it's latest podcast maybe, or something like this, And here, our main heading, we're going to change this to, so perhaps listen to the most up-to-date crypto podcast. And then this is our call to action right here, okay? So there's only one thing left, is this one here. So if you click on this, as you can see, this one will display basically over your page. So this could be some sort of call to action as well. Maybe you could have this link to your contact page, or perhaps to listen to your podcast as well. So right here, as you can see, you have like an envelope. So this is for contact us. If you wanted to use this as a contact us, you could link this to your contact page. Now, if you want to link this to your podcast, maybe you can change the icon here again, click on this, and then let's look for podcast. There you go. So that's the icon that we need. Insert. And now we can link this basically to the podcast page as well. So let's add the URL here. And that's basically it. And obviously Elementor is fully responsive. So let's go back to the top now and let me show you. So basically you can see immediately what it looks like on a tablet and on a mobile phone as well. You can make all these changes accordingly for each device. So as you can see, if you scroll down, this is what it looks like on the tablet. So this looks again very professional indeed. Now the image, as you can see, is slightly different on tablets compared to the desktop. As you can see, this one will be cropped. This one will show the two persons having a chat. And if it's on mobile phones, it will look slightly different again, And now you can adjust everything accordingly based on each device that you're on. Now you might want to hide some sections on some devices and some other keep them on, obviously, So let's say if you wanted to remove this section altogether and not show it on mobile phones or something like this, maybe all the testimonials here, this is maybe a bit too much. You can basically click on the whole container here, and then you go to advanced and then scroll down where it says responsive, expand. And as you can see, hide on desktop, hide on tablet, hide on a mobile portrait. And then if you do so, basically, as you can see, this section is grayed out now, and it will not display on mobile phones. Because you can see you have to scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. And this could be a bit tiresome and a bit too much for your visitors when they visit your website from a mobile phone, And you can do the same with tablets as well. So if there's a section you want to hide on tablets, again, click on it. And as you can see, hide on tablet, and you can do the same on desktop, okay? So that's basically how this works. And basically now we're done, guys. The homepage is done. So let's click on publish. So that's it. And now we can go back to the WordPress dashboard. So click on the Elementor logo and then exit to WordPress. And then click on the WordPress logo again. And there you go, we're back to the WordPress dashboard now. And then now it's always good practice to go back to the home page and make sure everything is displaying properly, and test it out. So as you can see, this is displaying fine. So this looks very professional. And let's try our call to action button here as well. And this is bringing us to our podcast, as you can see. So this is absolutely fine. So everything is working. Okay, so it would be the same principle basically, if you want to customize your About Us page, well, basically the same steps as we've taken so far, Just go to your backend here, you go to About Us and then edit with Elementor. So now I'm just going to show you how to customize your contact page, because there's an additional feature here, which is the contact form. So I'm going to show you how you can customize this, okay? So we go back here, we go to contact, edit with Elementor, and right here, contact us. So in our case, since we are podcasting, maybe contact us, maybe get in touch or something like this, And again, we can change the font size as well, because it's slightly too big now. So let's make it a little bit smaller. There you go, just like that. And then let's scroll down, and I'm just going to show you this section here, which is the contact form. Everything else, you know how to do it now. So let's click on this. And I personally really like that widget from Elementor, because it's super easy to use and you don't need a third-party contact form plugin. So it's straight up from here, from your Elementor page. So here you have your different fields on the full name, phone number, email, and message. And you can add as many as you want. As you can see, all you have to do is click the plus sign, select the type of field. So you can select email, text area, telephone, radio button, checkbox, and so on. As you can see, it's a very comprehensive solution, isn't it? Now let's remove this one for now, and all you have to do basically is put the name here, and select the type of field, and that's basically it. So it's very super intuitive to use, very simple to use as well. Now let's change this one here, because it says write us. I'm not too sure what that means. Let's change this for something else. So let's add message as well. So just like this, okay, message, that's very clear. And then you can customize literally everything. As you can see, you have the button here. So at the moment it says send, maybe submit, okay? That's up to you really again, And then we have the action after submit. So collect all the submissions and send the email. And then the email, where will it go? Well, you make sure to change here. Then make sure that you have your email address correct here. So hello@mrweb.tv. And then the subject line, So this could be new message from the website or something like this. And then you're going to insert all the fields, okay? So our 4 fields will be added automatically. And then the from here, make sure you put again hello@mrweb.tv, your own email address, and the name. Okay, so here I'm just going to put Mr. Web. And that's basically it. You can also CC and BCC if you wanted to, or other than that, it goes straight to you. And these are the different fields that will be added. And that's all for our contact form. So make sure that you change your details here, your phone number, the address, and also your email address. I'm just going to change the email address here with you. So hello@mrweb.tv, and you do the same obviously with your contact number and your address. Now right here, as you can see, I have 2 different sections. I'm not a big fan of this. I think that's too much You don't really need this because we're already on the contact page. What you need to contact us, that doesn't make sense. So I would delete this myself. And right here we have like some sort of about us. We already have that on the home page, and we already have an about us page as well. So you might as well get rid of this. I think the simplest the contact form is, the better. So all they need basically is a contact form and your details. That's all you need really, you know. So now we can click publish. And that's us done with the contact page. So let's go back again to the WordPress dashboard. So exit to WordPress. And then click on the WordPress logo again, and there you go. And then let's go back to our contact page and refresh. So get in touch, very good. And then these are our details, hello@mrweb.tv. And as you can see, this is absolutely fine. So let's put this to the test, okay, just to make sure that we receive everything. So I'm just going to put John Doe, and then a phone number, an email, and then a message, and then submit. Very good. As you can see, your submission was successful. Very good. And just to show you, this is the email I received. So new message from your website. You have the full name, phone number, email address, and the message. And now you can get in touch with John Doe. Very good. So we're nearly there, guys. So now I'm going to show you how you can take care of our menu section. As you can see, you have Newsflash. So this should be renamed normally Podcast, About Us, and maybe you don't need the services here. I'm going to show you how you can customize everything there, and also how to customize your footer section, okay? So let's take care of this now. We go back to our WordPress dashboard, and then from here we go to Appearance, and then Menus. And there you go, as you can see, you have Home, About, Services, Newsflash, and Contact. So first we're going to rename Newsflash to Podcast, or maybe Latest Podcast. No, just Podcast, that'd be fine, you know. Podcast, just like this, okay? So we can close this, and now we can delete some of them. Maybe services, we don't need that. So bulk select, and then services, social media, remove item, and then save menu. Now let's go back to the front end and refresh. Very good. So now we have only 4 pages, which is absolutely fine. Also, let's test the podcast. That's perfect. And then the home page, and everything is working absolutely fine. Very good. And again, now let's take care of our footer section. So we go back to our WordPress dashboard. This time we go to templates, and then theme builder, and then we go to footer. And again, this is a feature that's only available with Elementor Pro, which is again free with this solution here, okay? So this is our footer section, as you can see. So let's edit this. So let's click on that. Excellent. So first, let's make our logo slightly bigger. So let's click on this, and we're going to go to style and the height, okay? So let's increase that a little bit. So that looks a lot better already. So right here we have a menu. So this is our main menu that's repeated again. So we'll just leave it as is, you know. And right there we have services. So if you click on this, as you can see, this is a heading. But right there, what is this? Well, it's an icon list. So you can put whatever you want here, literally, you know. So this could be internal links, or maybe you want to emphasize maybe a few areas of business, or you want to link that to specific podcast or something like this, you know. Feel free to change that very easily. As you can see, you have the different items. Click on it, you put the title here, and then the internal link. So you can link this to any pages internally. This is basically how you can change this, okay? So let's just add one here ourselves. So let's add maybe podcast number 1. Maybe this is one of your most popular ones, you know. So I'm going to put here the title. So podcast number 1, okay? And right here you can select a specific icon if you wanted to. You see the others don't have one, but you can add one. I'm just going to remove it for now, okay? Just no icon. And now we're going to link this to the internal page, to our blog post. So right here I have dynamic tag. Click on that icon here, and I'm going to select internal URL, and now click on this again, and now we're going to define the type of content. So this is content. What type of content? So we're going to look for podcast here, okay? Podcast. And podcast number 1. So there it is. So now it is linked. And now if your visitors click on this, they'll be redirected directly to your podcast number 1. And then right there we have the social media icon. Is the same principle, guys. I'm not going to explain this, you know, it's very easy. Click on this, you can change the icon and paste the URL right here. And then the last one here is our mailing list. And as you can see, again, this is a contact form basically, okay? So how does this work? Well, actually, this is not linked to MailChimp or any of those mailing services, or Omnisend, you know. It's not linked directly to them. So you just fetch in an email here, that's all. So there is no real purpose to this. So I personally would delete it, you know, there's no point. So I would just click on this and then delete. And that's basically it. So now we can click publish. And as always, we always go back to the front end and refresh just in case, just to make sure everything is displaying properly. And there you go. That's us done, guys. Very good. And now that our website is ready, let's put it live, okay? So as you can see at the moment, the site lock mode is on. So that means not accessible by search engine or by anyone So let's take care of this, okay? And for this, we simply have to go back to the Elementor dashboard. So basically go back to your WordPress dashboard first and then click on this and then change this setting. Very good. As you can see, we're back to the Elementor dashboard. So as you can see at the moment, we're using a temporary URL, but obviously we want to link that to our actual domain. Okay, so we go to manage domains first. And then from here, you can either connect your existing domain that you purchased somewhere else or buy a domain directly with Elementor. Okay, either way is fine. And once you have this done, once your domain name is linked to your account, you can go back to overview. And then instead of this temporary URL, you have yourdomainname.com. Okay, and then now you can actually go live and remove the site lock. So you're going to click on this, change the settings. And as you can see, you have a toggle switch here. Just click on this, unlock the site, and boom, just like that, guys, you are now live for the whole world to visit your website. So there you go, guys. Again, if you want to give it a go, simply use the link in the description below where it says try Elementor hosting now. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.